Violet had her eyes slammed shut for what felt like forever. Even though Asher hadn't laid a finger on her, the tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Her senses were going haywire, every little noise, every shift in the air, magnified by the fact that she couldn't see. She was hyper-aware of Asher, of his every move, and it was driving her crazy. "You don't have to do this, Violet," Asher murmured, his fingers finding her hair again, gently massaging her scalp. It felt amazing, like he knew exactly how to soothe her, and for a second, she almost caved. Almost. "I would never harm you," he whispered, his arm sliding around her waist, pulling her close against his warm body. "Seriously?" Violet shot back, her voice icy. "You'd never hurt me? Is that like how you let everyone at that potluck totally humiliate me earlier?" Her words dripped with venom as she thought about the mortifying potluck incident. She wasn't going to let that go anytime soon. "Oh, that?" Asher's voice was completely casual, like it was no big deal. He leaned in closer, and Violet's body reacted involuntarily, sending shivers down her spine. She hated how he had that effect on her. That was just a little get-together, so everyone could, get to know you. See you're not a threat. Don't sweat it. He nuzzled his face into her neck, taking a deep breath. "Gosh, you smell amazing." "Yeah, amazing. Get together," Violet snapped, her anger flaring. "Give yourselves a round of applause, guys, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in the history of potlucks to get peed on." She whirled around to shove him away, but her hands grasped at air. The force of the movement threw her off balance, and she would have totally eaten it if Asher hadn't caught her at the last second. He laughed, a deep, mocking sound. "You're gonna hurt yourself, little purple. Why not just open your eyes?" His voice was calm, almost gentle, but Violet wasn't fooled. "Nope, not until you get out of here," she retorted, her voice full of defiance. "Cute, Violet," he replied smoothly, but his tone had taken on a dangerous edge. "But you still need to be punished. So open your eyes, sweetheart, while I'm still asking nicely." "No way! Violet, no! You can't make me." "Oh, but I can, can't I?" His dark chuckle sent chills down her spine. "Tell you what, let's make a deal." A shiver ran down Violet's back. Her gut told her this deal was going to be bad news. "Out of your 3 roommates, which one do you like best?" His question hit her like a punch to the gut. A chill settled in Violet's stomach. No, he wouldn't hurt them. He couldn't. But then again, none of them were his so-called purple queen. Damn it! "What if I walked over to one of their beds right now and woke one of them up?" Asher taunted. "Which one is it? The chatty one? Is she your favorite?" Violet's brows furrowed. She wrestled with her decision. Open her eyes and protect Alice, or keep them shut and let Asher do God knows what. "You like sneaking out, don't you?" he continued, his voice taking on a sinister edge. "What if, like you, she tried it too, except she jumps from the 2nd-story window? She probably wouldn't die, but broken leg maybe?" Violet's blood ran cold. The thought of Alice getting hurt because of her made her stomach churn. That settled it. Violet opened her eyes. Asher was back on her bed, a smug grin plastered on his face. "Smart move, Purple Queen," he said. Rage burned inside Violet. Her hands clenched into fists. "One day, you'll know what it's like to love someone and have them ripped away from you," she spat, her voice trembling with fury. For a second, Asher looked genuinely surprised. Then, his devilish smirk returned. "Too bad I live in the now," he replied smugly. Violet stared at him in disbelief. How could she have ever thought this guy had a shred of decency? His expression hardened. "Now come here, Violet. No pet names, no teasing." Asher Nightshade was dead serious. Even though his voice held no compulsion, Violet found herself obeying, walking toward him despite every instinct screaming at her to run. But this wasn't just about her anymore. Her roommate's safety was on the line. As she approached, Violet glared at him defiantly. She figured she knew what was coming, especially since she was practically half. He'd probably humiliate her further, maybe force her into something like, good. Her teeth ached. If it came to that, she'd bite him. He'd regret it. Violet braced herself for whatever torment he had in store, only to hear, "Bend over." "What?" she blurted out, stunned. She had to have misheard him. "Bend over, Violet," he repeated impatiently, his voice now laced with compulsion. The power of his words washed over her, and she found herself bending over his knees before she could even think. A second later, the reality of her position hit her like a ton of bricks. No, this can't be happening. Violet struggled, pushing against Asher's weight, but he held her firmly in place. "Get off me, you," she snarled, her fists bunching up in the bedspread. "I wish I could, but like I said." "Dear Violet," Asher replied, his voice cold, "you need to be punished. You tried to run, and there are consequences for disobeying your king. Think of this as a learning experience." Violet's stomach plummeted. This couldn't be real. It had to be some twisted, horrible dream. "You're insane! Let me go, Asher!" Violet thrashed against him, furious, but Asher's grip was unshakable. "You brought this on yourself," Asher replied calmly, his voice lacking anger but dripping with that infuriating authority he wore so easily. "Every action has consequences. This one's on you, Violet." "Stop this right now! Are you completely—" Violet snarled, twisting and turning to break free. Asher leaned in close, his breath warm against her ear. "Maybe, but what does that make you when you deliberately ignore my orders? When you try to ditch me? We're supposed to be a team. Who does that?" Violet's skin crawled. He couldn't be serious. Did he actually believe she was his? The way she'd bolted after his ridiculous proposal should have been clear enough. But this was Asher. He only heard what he wanted. Trying a new approach, Violet softened her voice. "Okay, you've made your point, Asher. I won't try to run again. I wouldn't leave you." She played along with his fantasy, hoping it would work. Asher just shook his head. "That's where you're wrong, Violet. This isn't just to make a point." "Then what?" Violet snapped, her patience wearing thin. "This is pathetic, Asher. What do you think this will achieve? You think I'll suddenly obey you? Be scared of you? Never." "Scared of me?" Asher repeated, his voice dropping to a chilling whisper. "No, Violet. I don't want you to fear me. That's what makes you different. You challenge me, and I like that. But," his voice hardened, "I want you to remember this moment every time you think about running. Every time you think you can defy me." Before Violet could reply, his hand cracked sharply against her backside. The sound echoed in the quiet room. Violet gasped, shocked and humiliated. "What the hell?" she started, but another slap, even harder, cut her off. Her body flinched, her cheeks burning. "Asher, you're actually me," she yelled, disbelief and fury mixing in her voice. "What was wrong with this guy?" Asher chuckled, unbelievably smug. "Of course, it's a fitting punishment for a naughty girl." "You're crazy," Violet hissed, her voice shaking as she struggled against him. "Language, my dear," he scolded, his hand striking again, the sting sharper now. Violet bit her lip, refusing to give him the satisfaction of a cry. "You'll regret this," she gritted out. "I swear, Asher, you'll regret this." He paused, his hand resting lightly on her back as he tilted his head, pretending to think. "Perhaps," he said, "but right now, I'm enjoying myself far too much to care." Another slap, then another, each sting lingering. Violet wanted to scratch his face, to scream, but all she could do was endure. His smugness hurt the most, and she swore she'd find a way to get back at him. By the sixth, Violet lost count. Her backside was on fire, and she was close to tears as he continued the relentless. Asher leaned closer, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "You know, you could cry. No one would hear you. Your roommates are out cold. You're sick," Violet spat, her voice trembling with rage. "You're a sick, twisted and you, my purple girl, are way too stubborn for your own good. But don't sweat it," he said, a cruel smile twisting his lips. "I'll break you eventually." The next slap stung so hard that tears finally escaped Violet's eyes. "I hate you, Asher. I hate you," she sobbed. "It's a good thing, then," he said smoothly, landing another slap, "that hate and love are so close." Violet cried out, gripping the sheets as tears streamed down her face. She wasn't as tough as she pretended to be. "Just apologize, purple girl. Promise you won't run off again, and we're good." "You," Violet snarled, venom lacing her voice. Another stinging slap. Don't worry about the you part, he said with a smirk. We'll get to that later. For now, let's just enjoy this romantic moment. Romantic moment? Wait, what? Fine, I'm sorry, Violet finally yelled, her voice cracking. Asher scoffed. 20 swats for an apology? You're a tough one, purple girl. He started rubbing her sore red skin, and she flinched at the touch. So say it right. Sorry for what, my purple girl? Sorry for running away, Violet mumbled, avoiding his gaze. And? He pushed, waiting for her full confession. Violet clamped her mouth shut. She would never agree to be his girl. You're sorry for what, my girl? He repeated, his voice hard. The slap echoed in the room, sharper than any before. Violet's eyes widened in horror as she felt a strange warmth between her legs. Her body's betrayal, in this moment of all moments, made her want to scream. Lost for words, Violet, Asher taunted, his voice laced with cruel amusement. Another stinging slap followed. This time, a small, involuntary moan escaped Violet's lips. Humiliation flooded her. Asher leaned in close, his voice a low whisper. Tell me, Violet, what are you sorry for? Please, she whimpered, barely able to speak. Please. What? He pressed, his tone maddeningly calm. The sharp slap sent a jolt through Violet's body. She buried her face in the mattress, a muffled moan escaping her. He knew exactly what he was doing. He'd planned this. And the realization made Violet's hatred for him burn even brighter.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.